believe it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live show for Maeve Fly. I have some awesome co-hosts today. We have Allie, Ren, and Sam. Do you guys want to just kind of go around and introduce yourselves a little bit and kind of tell us what kind of books you like to read?
I should always expect these questions, and I always forget they're coming.
Sam, you go first.
Okay, my channel is my name, Samantha Donovan. Lots of book content, lots of lifestyle. I read a wide range of books, and I can finally take my chair back. Yeah, so I mostly read fantasy and horror, so I'm excited to be here for a horror pick.
Sweet. Allie, do you want to go next?
Okay. My name's Allie. My channel is All I Do Is Read. I read a lot of different genres. I've been trying to get more into sci-fi this year, and I've already had like 2 5 stars, so that's great.
Ooh,
nice. And I like horror, romance, literary fiction, fantasy, etc., etc.
All the things.
Yeah.
I'm Ren, and my channel is The Reading Ren. I like anything queer, basically, but also very much love horror and contemporary. Little bit of sci-fi, not so much the fantasy, but I am trying to get back into fantasy in 2024, so we shall see.
What about you, Alea?
Me too. What? Well, honestly, after reading this, I'm like, I don't know what I like. I'm feeling some kind of way.
Oh, no.
I would say horror, romance, middle grade, fantasy, sometimes graphic novels, kind of everything. I'm kind of a dabbler, as Allie and I have discussed before. A little bit of whatever I'm feeling, but I have been in the horror mood lately. Horror and graphic novels so far in 2024.
Yeah,
I don't know
your
why.
upcoming picks, I'm just like, oh yes, this is the time.
Yes. I was like, okay, what can we do where we can read some creepy, weird shit, but it's not going to be too much? So then I threw Bride in there by Allie Hazelwood because I'm super excited for that.
I'm so excited.
So,
Yeah.
I'm super stoked. So
everyone's like calling it fan fiction-y, and I just can't wait. I'm ready.
Nothing can be on the same level of Midnight is the Darkest Hour Twilight fanfic. Like that is
yeah.
That's
true.
Like when you say something is fanfic, if it's not that tier, it's not fanfic anymore.
That's fair.
Wait, what is your cat's name? I'm sorry, I feel like we're being rude.
This is Hinata.
Oh,
she's the big one with the black nose.
She's cute. Oh my goodness. All right. Do you guys want to just dive into Mayfly? Because I have some thoughts, and I'm sure you all have some thoughts as well. Okay. What did you guys rate this book? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you terrified? 5 star? Allie?
Hell yeah.
I thought you
gave it a 5 star too.
Ren's like, that weirdo would love this shit.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
Yep. So. Yeah, no, I finished it and I was like, the whole time I was like, it has like 4, maybe 4.5. And then by the end, I like stopped it. And I read this whole book at my office job, and my coworker came in, and I was so emotional that I was like, no, that I think has to be a 5 star.
I wasn't expecting to feel emotional at the end either. And I was like, whoa.
Me either.
Yeah. It's creeping up on me.
Yeah. So yeah, 5 stars.
What'd you give it, Ren? Did you 2 star that?
I believe it.
Someone had to.
I went on Goodreads. Yeah, I went on Goodreads, and it's like everybody either gave it a 5 or they hated it, and they were like, "That's fucking disgusting," and you're all incorrect. So, anyways, but I finished it like.
See, I didn't find it disgusting.
I thought it was going to be way more wild from what people said.
Me too.
I mean, I think the end really went there, and I'm kind of glad it wasn't like that the whole time. But yeah, I think I was expecting more gore. But
yeah, no, everyone's like, it's extreme horror, and I'm like,
yeah.
I did like where it went there. Like there was a part, like I don't get grossed out easily, and so the whole book was happening. I was like, oh no, I'm like fine with this. And then there was that eyeball scene, and I was like, oh yeah, oh I don't like that, but I do.
Yeah, I
I was
agree.
fine with the eyeball. It was the acid with the
Yes.
Oh,
that
Mhm.
that I was like,
That was
oh, okay.
yeah, she's really
me
good. I'm
too.
glad
I
they
was
didn't
like,
actually when she was talking about what was that last girl, the Cinderella girl or whatever her name was, that was like in charge of the
Liz.
like her boobs were too big to be a princess.
Yeah.
I'm glad she didn't like she described what she was gonna do, but then we didn't have to see her do it. I was like, thank you.
Same.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't need to see that. I didn't need that in my mind. It was
No.
that scene where I was like, CJ Lead, what are you okay?
Yeah.
I
How
was like,
did you come
CJ
up with
Lead,
that?
thank you for like actually being as crazy as everyone says that this book is, because I was
Yeah.
expecting something like that to happen. I don't know.
That was the hope when you go into it. You're like, please give me something, but not
Gross
like
me out.
a man wrote this. It's on Kindle Unlimited
Right.
extreme. Like, tasteful.
Oh yeah. Yikes.
Taste. That you know,
No.
that eyeball scene was kind of tasteful though. I gotta be honest. That was kind of iconic. I was like, he deserved it though.
Oh,
With
he
the
was
cocaine spoon,
Yes.
I
such a
mean,
little bitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
he deserved that.
he did.
Liz, though, I don't know about that. That was a lot.
I'm
That
forgetting her
was a
friend's
lot for
name.
what
All I
she
keep calling
did.
her.
I agree. I agree. I'm like, okay,
Well, she just
she
snapped.
got you
She was like,
fired, but
anyone was about to wrong her. She's like, well, I'm going to impale
yeah,
you with this now.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, once
And
you get
then
to
when she
that
went,
point,
yeah,
you just gotta
that's
commit.
true.
I feel
Yeah,
really
you
bad
gotta
about
be
her
all in.
friendship though with her frozen
Kate,
sister.
Is it Kate?
yeah,
I just kept calling her Anna in my head, so I feel really bad about that. I was like, I mean, she was spitting some facts, but also like,
Yeah.
it was sad. That was
Yeah.
sad. I cried at the end. I didn't think I was going to be emotional, and I was like, I'm doing fine. And then I
was
read the author's note, and I was just crying.
wait, I don't
I
think I
was
read
just
the
crying.
author's note.
I didn't read
Okay.
the author's note.
I think it just got me because she was like talking about her family and like her partner and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, and now I'm sad, and
Oh god, I love reading author's notes too.
it was tender.
It's like a
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet story. If people told me
It
that
is.
going in, I had no
did
idea.
not think there would be any type of romance. I really just thought that it was
Me
going to be
either.
like an unhinged woman that works at Disney, and I was like, this is all I've ever wanted in life. And then I actually like learned what it was about, and we meet Gideon, and I'm just like, oh, there's like
Yeah.
more to the story. It's not just like an unhinged woman and just doing things.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I hate to be that girl, but
Don't you
the
dare.
romance was amazing.
Thank you.
It made it.
I know.
It made it the 5 star just because, like,
Apparently,
I was
this
not
is supposed
expecting
to
it.
have a sequel.
What?
What?
I just
Apparently.
saw that the author is releasing a new book, and Ren,
Yes.
she says that it's going to be
Post-apocalyptic?
like manhunty, and I'm like scared
Yeah.
because that's actually on my TBR for this one.
Oh.
But it's supposed to be like how people are sex craved after some apocalyptic shit.
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
know. She did like
Yeah.
a whole vibe thing on her
Okay.
Instagram, and it looks pretty intriguing. I'm
Ooh.
excited.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It does look
Okay.
really good, but I don't think that's the sequel to this one though. It's like
I
completely
don't think
different.
so. I was watching Katie Coulson's video because she like goes full in depth with spoilers and everything, and I watched it, and at the end she was like, and this is going to get a sequel, and some characters aren't going to be in it, so I don't know what to expect. And I was like,
Maybe she's talking to the author or something.
Oh,
maybe. I was just like, what kind of inside scoop is this? So
I'll have to look at that video because I didn't know she had read this. It's awesome.
oh yeah, it's a good video. Katie, spoiler alert, loved it.
Okay.
Loved it so much.
Yeah.
that's so interesting. I don't know what a sequel would look like.
Yeah. Like
Her
I
and-
feel like it wraps up so heartbrokenly beautiful.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
it does what it needs to do.
I feel like if it went into like a sequel, it would feel like a cartoon, kind of. I don't know why.
I know the
I
sequel
loved
would
her
have
and Gideon
wanted.
though.
What'd you say?
The sequel I would have wanted would have been like Maeve and Gideon just like going off,
Yeah.
having a spree. That's what I would have
Yes.
wanted as a sequel.
That's what the sequel should have been. Like, if Midnight is the Darkest Hour kind of had a sequel, it'd be like that vibe, but so much better. Oh
I feel ya.
god.
I feel you. And it's so funny that they never said Frozen. Like, is that for copyright reasons, do you think?
Probably.
Because they said Cinderella and like Snow White, but I was
I think
laughing
it's
my ass off
because
when she said Let It Go. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Frozen, because it's so new, it's still like Disney copyright, whereas like Cinderella has original, not Disney connections to the story,
Yeah.
so they can use the names. But like they couldn't say Disney because copyright, and I don't think Disney wants to necessarily be affiliated with this.
Oh my god, the opening, first of all, the opening scene where she's talking about like every man's dream is to get everything he wants and then have everything ripped away from him. I was just thinking like, because we had just watched John Wick with all of our friends, and all these guys are just like, yeah, John Wick. And I'm just like, maybe there's some truth to this, because that whole story is just that. And anyway, that was really funny. But then that scene where the little boy like grabbed Kate's boob.
Honestly,
laughing
what
my
an
ass
incredible opening to a book. Rails of
And Maeve was
cocaine
just like,
and a child grabbing a boob with a bloody nose. Like, incredible.
yeah.
Oh, it's iconic.
It is iconic.
The
I
only
loved all the stuff in here about like female rage too.
Oh yeah, for
That
sure.
was super cool.
The thing I didn't like with that female rage thing was there was this whole thing of, oh, you know, a woman doesn't need an excuse to then be completely unhinged. I'm like, awesome, cool. But then she doesn't like flip until like,
Something
you know,
happens.
something happens to her, and then
Yeah.
she goes off. And I was like, but you just said
Well,
you didn't need a reason.
I think she did have like other bodies in that like room, but she hadn't gone to like this
Yeah.
extent for sure.
My
Yeah,
understanding
true.
solely relies on the jar of teeth at the bar. That like this has been going on for probably a while, and it's just been
True.
very like under the radar and chill until
Was that her
she was
jar
able
of
to like
teeth?
release the monster inside or whatever.
I didn't even realize it was her jar to like I noticed her like putting in real teeth, but I just assumed
Yeah.
it was like the decorations, but you might be right. But I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
because she like finally she goes
bodies.
like, I wonder if those are real teeth, but like we know she's putting some teeth in there. So it's like, was somebody else putting the teeth there first and then she just decided to add to it, or is it like all hers? I don't know. But yeah.
Good point. I know this grandma and her relationship is like so crazy.
Maybe it's the
I
grandma.
love that.
I did too. That was like one of the coolest parts of it. And can you imagine if your grandma just showed you this, but you weren't secretly like wanting to be a killer, and you're just like, get me out of here.
Yes.
Like, grandma.
She's like, here's your grandfather.
Oh my god.
You're like, oh my god.
And then she like her whole thing of being like embodied by her, that part was like really interesting. It was very like Black Swan. That's what I kept getting the vibes of.
Oh, true. I didn't make that comparison. That was cool.
Yeah. So why would you say you gave it 2 stars, Ren?
I think because, like Sam said, like you didn't expect the romance, and I was like, I am here for the goriest stuff. I want this woman to just be completely unhinged the entire time, and she was, but not as much as I wanted. And then the romance came in, and at first I was like, oh god, okay, we get it. He's hot. You guys have sex a lot. Cool. Can we move on? Towards the end, I loved the romance, but at the beginning, I was like, I don't need several chapters of you having sex. Like, can you murder someone,
I'll
please?
take your sex
Oh,
scene.
but you don't like them teasing with the hot wand, like the curling iron. That seems
That
so
curling
weird.
iron shit was weird.
And then
That
she
girl,
she didn't
traumatized
say
the hell out of me.
anything, and she just went back to work, and they saw
she was
her
like,
again.
I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't happen. You're crazy. Like, you just completely gaslit that girl. And I was like, this is my worst nightmare. Like,
Oh
that's
my God.
terrifying.
Yeah,
That was intense.
Thank you.
Headbutting the microphone. That's so cute.
Yeah, that curling iron thing.
Yeah, that scene, I was sitting there like jaw dropped, like, is she gonna do? Is this about to happen right now? Is this where we're going?
Me too.
Is this when it begins?
Do you remember our main character saying that Kate looked at her a couple times, like kind of like, whoa? I think
Yes.
she recognized something she saw in her brother, and she was freaked out by it. I think
Ooh.
that was what that look was for.
And that's when like the
Ah.
distance was like, maybe this is more toxic of a friendship. Even though like I loved Maeve so much that I was like, no, Maeve would never. Maeve is not like that. She's just scared.
Oh,
I'm an apologist for Maeve. Oh.
I did love Maeve. I'm scared of how much I loved Maeve.
see, I was so surprised by the romance, so I don't know if that is
Me
making me
too.
like it more. Because I don't know, but I think that could get more people to read it.
I just love
Mhm.
Gideon
It's kinda
so much.
sad.
Yeah.
He's incredible. What a good character. What a good man. Sees a girl read us a book and then he buys the book to read it to talk to her because she has no interest in him.
Ah,
He's just out here killing people. What a good man.
oh my god, I know.
Okay,
And
guy.
like the part towards the end when he spends the night at her house and she wakes up in the morning and he's just reading on the couch with her cat. I was like, oh my god, they're meant to be.
Yeah.
So
Oh
cute.
god. Oh my god. But also, okay, I have a question about the end because I
Okay.
don't quite know what to think. So like the very, very, very end, when she realizes that he was the one making the dolls, and she's like looking at the doll that he made for her on his work table, and she says something about like it would have ended up this way, like either way. I was like, did she mean that she would have killed him if she
Or he
found
would've
out
killed
he
her.
was making the dolls? Or like one of them would have killed each other either way because they're both serial killers?
That's what I kind of pictured it as. Like at some point they're gonna kill each other. I don't know. I'm kind of like blacking out because I was so upset and I was just kind of like at that point.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really tell like how she felt about the doll, if she was like impressed by it and was like, "Oh, that's hot," or if she was like, "That's the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in my life."
I thought she loved it.
I think she was kind of into it.
Yeah.
I think she's
like,
very
okay.
into it.
That part made me so sad when the little doll had like the little jack-o'-lantern. I was like, "Maeve, you fucked up
That was
so
such a
bad."
cool story. Like I like the
So cute.
story within the story for that part when she was telling. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Jack thing was very cool. I wanted more of that. And I love how Gideon was like, you don't have to be Jack. And I was like, oh, no.
God, that part was so cool. I'm not cool enough for Maeve. Same.
Honestly, I would go to
Yes.
Spirit Halloween with Maeve every year. Like that's
Oh,
the time to try.
I
absolutely.
loved how much she loved Halloween too. That was really cute. It was also
Yes.
interesting how much she loved California. At first, I was kind of getting annoyed because I don't like books like that. For some reason, I don't know. It bugs me when people are like, "I love this very famous city," but it actually wasn't that bad by the end of it. So, and I think I was nervous going into this because it says right in the flap that it's heavily influenced by American Psycho, which I haven't
Mhm.
read. But I did
haven't
watch the
seen.
movie with a bunch of insufferable dudes, and they like loved it so much that I was completely put off from it. And so I was like, "Oh, I don't know if this is for me." But now I get it because hi,
Yeah, no. Mayfly is American Psycho for the girlies.
I guess so.
American Psycho is for the men.
Mm.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
I don't know.
I
I
think it's
totally
perfect.
see that.
Yeah, I think it's so perfect how it happened, but it is very sad.
It was so sad because it's not even just like the fact it happened. It was just her coming to the realization of what it all meant and how
Why
he was
couldn't he
trying
just-
to her.
Why couldn't he
couldn't
spit it
say
out?
something? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
super true.
Like honestly, he could have said something so much sooner in the relationship too, just being like, "Hey, notice things. It's cool." Rather than like teasing this little like tidbit of information about himself and her. It's just like just
Yeah.
communicate and you'll be happy.
Yeah. Or he could have even told
go to
her like
prison
what the
together, but-
tattoo meant. Because he like asked about her fly
Yeah.
tattoo and was like, "Oh yeah, I have this tattoo," but he didn't tell her what it meant. I knew. I was like, "He's killed 8 people, right? That's what it's for."
I didn't
But it
pick
didn't
up on
take
that
away from
until
my
the end.
enjoyment. Yeah, I was like, "That's absolutely what it was," and he's absolutely making these dolls too, which is creepy as shit. But like, he's still hot, and like, they're still cute together. So like, I was still here for him anyway.
What do you think's gonna happen though? Because they're gonna have to sell his house and they're gonna find that room. Maybe she can like blame him for the people that she murdered too somehow. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
She's
she'll
like-
clean it out.
Maybe.
But I knew it
Yeah.
was him making the dolls because Kate made some off comment about how he used to be really into art and like painting and stuff.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's
I
interesting.
assumed that she was imagining the whole thing. I don't know why.
Same.
It did seem
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I think it's because, like, in American Psycho, he's sort of delusional, and he's like, I was just like, oh, maybe this is like that, where this is her trigger or something, and that she's finally becoming delusional. I don't know, but
It did
I like
also
that
have
he did
that.
it.
Yeah, and it kind of had that like
Mhm.
dream hazy feel every once in a while where you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we never figured out who the girl was who was like planting the dolls. I was
Oh,
like,
wait.
who's that?
Didn't we?
Yeah.
I feel like now I can't even remember. I should have read this like right before the show, but
I know. I read this a month ago and I was like, okay, refreshers?
I feel like we did find out who she was, didn't we? Wasn't it like? Oh, now I can't remember. Which means that we probably didn't.
I
We
don't
probably
think
didn't, which means that
so.
if there is a sequel,
Maybe that would be a
ladies.
thing.
I guess that was the part where I was thinking like that was. Oh, now that's gonna bug me. I gotta reread it tonight. Okay. I feel like we should get an instance of it, or like, I think I came up with this theory that was her grandmother in some way, but clearly it probably wasn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
I want it to be Kate.
Oh yeah.
That would be iconic.
And like
Imagine
her like
being
reaching
Kate.
out, like we could be friends again. I was like, yes, be
Yeah.
friends, be unhinged together.
Yeah.
Go for
Imagine
it.
being Kate and your brother is a serial killer and so is your best friend.
You're like,
What are
anyone
the
pisses me
odds?
off.
Like, what are you attracting? Okay, the brother you can't help,
Your
but like
fault.
your friend? And then your friend's grandma too, who you also like know? That's 3 whole serial killers in one book. Like I was just astounded by the sheer number of.
But also, like, it's LA. The probabilities are probably way higher than we realize.
So, like, oh well, that wraps it up, Sam. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was so wild. God, as
The
soon as he
grandma-
went in the cellar, I
Yeah.
was like, no.
I know. I thought it was gonna be great. I was like, okay, cool. He's figured this out. And then she's gonna be like, yeah, and he's gonna reveal that he does it too. But she put that shit in his eye. That sounded like it hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did
I
not
was
go
surprised he
poison.
didn't.
It was like a
Yeah, it was
plant
like-
extract or something, right?
Yeah. I was surprised that she was able to do that to him because he's so much bigger than her too. Like the whole
Yeah.
book, she's like, he's so big and whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this took you 0.2 seconds to kill this man. Like, what? He's a professional hockey
Mm.
player.
I
But go
can't
off. Go off.
I can't believe they did it on ice with her naked back touching the ice. I would have thrown up. I'm cold and it's like 75 degrees out. I can't. No.
Honestly, same. I also hate it
Standards.
being cold, but that is hilarious. Also, she requested that. And he was like, I guess if you want to be a cold bitch, that's fine.
He was into it. He's like, oh, found my girl.
Yeah.
But I did
Yeah,
like
also, I
how
love
violent they
how-
were. Because I feel like
Yes.
even in dark romance, I mean, there's kidnapping and shit. So it gets kind of dark. But they're not usually like physically like with each other. They're like usually
Mhm.
lovey-dovey, but like they kill everyone
Mhm.
else. So this was kind of fun.
He was very into Maeve being
And ice
however
ice
she
lady.
is.
He was
Oh
just
my
like
God.
the perfect simp character. You just need that sometimes, where it's just the guy just head over heels for this girl who has no interest in you, and then things turn around, and it's like, wow, true love is out there, and you are meant to be. The worst way
If only a
possible.
woman will write a book about it.
Right.
Right? I just wish she would have figured it out before she killed him because he knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
How did
God.
you know?
I don't know. I was wondering
He had
that
those
too. Like,
serial
how did
killer
he know?
instincts.
I
You just got the
guess, but I don't know. I also just like that they're both really smart and like she went to Stanford and then dropped out and he went to Harvard. Like they're just very intelligent people.
And they looked each
And
other
I
up.
like I don't know. And I just love the way that like Maeve talks. Like she's really smart. And not just with her creative ability to murder people in her basement, but she's just like really intelligent. And it's
can't
just
believe-
really entertaining.
Those police officers, what a bunch of fools. Like
Right.
the
Oh my
skeleton hanging right there.
That was a lot.
Imagine being that
That was-
cocky. I cannot.
Yeah, no, like the fact that the cop is like, "Can I hire you next year to decorate my house for Halloween?" Incredible.
Like,
That
what
was
do you
fun.
mean?
That was
Sir?
fun.
And the blood on the cat, and the officer's just like, "Oh yeah, little schmutz on your cat there. That's kind of weird." And Maeve's like, "Oh my god."
She's like, "I've got
Honestly,
nothing to worry
accurate.
about. I'll be fine."
Yeah, I know. And okay, when the cat ate the finger and went to the vet,
And
and it
vet's
just
like,
shows
"We
on
got
the
something up
X-ray.
there."
Yeah. What?
Okay.
How
He's
is
just
the
like,
vet
"Don't let
not
your
like
cat out."
911? Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess this was sort of satirical, so I'm guessing it's like you just have to suspend your disbelief. But also, I feel like the vet was thinking that she
That's
didn't
incredible.
think it was a finger. So the vet was like trying to protect
Mm.
her from like thinking it was because she was just a girl. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mm.
because she's
It's
a
true.
fucking Disney princess. Like she is the most innocent looking, just like, don't worry, I would never do a thing. Help me walk across the street kind of a person. And so it makes sense if people are like, I have to protect this child. Because she's what, like
Mm.
18, 19?
Something around there.
Something
It was
around there.
really sad whenever she was talking about how like she felt so alone, and then she met her grandma and she's like, "This is my person."
Mhm.
Yeah.
And looking up and being like, okay, she has exactly 2 years to live.
Ooh.
And just like taking the internet as face value, just like,
I feel so bad for the nurse lady.
Yes.
Ooh, that was
That was brutal.
brutal. Poor girl. She worked hard for years.
That's true. She did not deserve that.
She didn't, but I guess it had to happen.
Oh my god.
had to happen.
So many layers. I also really liked when Gideon and Maeve were at his house and he made that whole Halloween room for her. That was so cool.
I thought he was going to try to murder her in that moment, and I'm glad it didn't go that
Same.
way.
It was
I was
true
like,
love,
"What kind of
Allie.
50 Shades of Grey shit I was about to read."
Yeah, but it was also funny how like she could only sleep when she was like in the same bed as him because she was always like, "Oh, I don't sleep. My grandmother and I just don't sleep." And I was like, "You'd probably be less crazy if you got some sleep."
You'd be
Win.
a little less mentally ill, girl.
That would help for me as
Yeah.
well.
No, me too. I loved it. I can't get over how much I like this book. I'm still like confused. I'm like, how did she make me like these characters?
Yeah, I don't know what she put in the book, but it was genuinely like one of those things you walk away and you're like, wow, I'm crying. And I now apparently love this character who I'm supporting women's wrongs, I suppose, but just absolutely adore her. And I felt so bad. I was like, Kate, she's great. Be friends with her. Don't turn her away.
I don't know, but the fact that she hooked up with Kate's, even though he was a slime ball and she was doing it to like prove something, it was. I mean, Kate sort of did have a
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah,
damn.
definitely.
That's true. Also, though, can we talk about how if Kate had better taste in men, then like maybe her brother wouldn't have become a serial killer? A thought, a concept.
Well, it's her fault.
I'm just
It's her.
saying. Like,
Always
girl, you
blame
had
women.
bad taste.
Oh, that was kind of sad.
Because, like, did Kate know? Like, or did she just think something happened?
I think she knew deep down.
Yeah.
That's why she would like give those looks. I don't know. That's my theory.
Mm.
I mean, that is pretty suspicious. Fell off a bridge by himself. Bet. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, you pushed
The way
him.
she said it
What are we
too, she's
talking
like, no one dies from there unless you want to or something. Didn't she say that? Or was that another book I was reading?
No, I think it was like a bunch of people have jumped off that bridge, but like nobody's ever died from it.
Yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah,
weird because
something like
Night Shift, the book I read just before this, something happened where someone jumped and the girl was like, anyway, sorry, going off.
A lot of bridges,
I know.
I guess.
A lot of jumping or pushing. I did like how on like the physical copy, each chapter, there's like a little fly on it and it's in a different spot for each one.
Oh,
Love
that's
it.
so
Oh, that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have my copy. I'm gonna lend it to my coworker who is not a reader, so it'll be really interesting how it goes. I was like crying in my office when she came in, and she's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know that serial killer book I was telling you about?" And she was like, "Okay, I kind of want to read it."
Can you imagine trying to figure out what number this is? No, I couldn't do it.
35 plus
37.
8, 10.
I'm with Alea on that.
There's L's in the Roman numeral system. Had no idea. I don't think I've ever counted that high up in Roman numeral.
Yeah, no, I can't help you with that one.
No.
She's too smart for us.
No. I know it. I
She's
loved
so
how
pretty,
short the
too.
chapters were. Yeah, she is.
Same.
She's so pretty.
I still don't know how you come up with that pipe and mouse and acid thing.
I forgot about the
What do you
mouse.
mean?
Oh my god. Like
That was
Mickey Mouse.
disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
she was
good.
like, "It's a mouse." Haha. I was like, "Ha, Maeve, you're disgusting."
Let it go, bitch.
Ew.
And then she like wore that dude's ears on her face.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Ew.
So good.
It was so funny when
like-
she's like, "Yeah, he's too heavy for me to carry him downstairs. I'm just gonna slit his throat in the garage. I don't have time for this shit, you know?"
Got
And then she's
time.
like, I cleaned it up. How do you clean that up? I'm sorry. That shit's there forever. On cement,
Yeah.
blood will not come out.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that, but
I believe you.
Allie.
I'm just saying. JK, I've never killed anyone. Never.
Just accidentally spilled
That was
blood.
cute.
It's fine.
Oh, the
Oh, I
ears.
did not put that together.
I
Oh my
love
God.
that.
I thought she was just being a menace. I mean, she was, but
She was.
She was, but she was so cheeky about it that it was
was.
funny.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, you need help, but you're still witty.
oh my gosh, when she like
What?
chopped that guy's dick off, didn't she say something
Oh.
about how I always thought it would be like cutting into a hot dog, and she's like,
Like
"And
a
it
hot dog,
is."
yes.
I don't
Oh
think
my
like
God.
a hot dog
Okay.
again.
Can we talk about that whole tour bus thing where she just went off and like massacred all those dudes because they like used the picture of her grandma for their thing? I was like, girl, somebody, and she knew somebody's gonna find it. She was like, yeah, I hid some tidbits around, you know, somebody's gonna find those later. I was like, Maeve,
See, this is the point where you get caught. You get a little too cocky, and then
yeah,
I mean, that's the thing though with like most serial killers that get popular in the news. It's like they want their crimes to be tied to them in some way. Even if they don't want to get caught necessarily, they want to take like claim to it. And so they always leave or take trophies or like leave things. That way they're like, yeah, well, I can say it was mine. So it very much felt like in case anything was to ever happen to me,
you know
I'll
what I
be
was
like
thinking,
famous.
though? Is because like part of American Psycho is like at the end you don't know if it actually all happened or not, and so maybe I have a theory of like secretly maybe he was killing people all this time, and her grandmother. I don't know. I'm trying to make shit up. I like to do that sometimes.
Oh my God. Okay. The brains that she put in the cocaine and gave to the bartender, that was gross.
I love that
probably made her
bartender.
high as fuck though. Like they probably had dreams while she was like high on cocaine.
Yikes.
The
Can we
bartender
talk
was
about-
everything.
The bartender had a threesome with 2 serial killers and didn't die. That's
And
pretty
also was
iconic.
just like cool with anything that
Yeah.
happened.
Oh, the dude.
Like the bartender that would play like the Halloween music every time she'd come in was just
Oh,
down
yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, go add to the jar of teeth. I'm not gonna even blink at
I
what's going
loved
on.
that.
He's like, you're a
That
regular,
was
you're
nice.
good.
So
Yeah.
cute.
That bartender just was there for her. I loved
Yeah, that
it.
was cool. I'm really sad that she got fired from her job though, because she really did love it. But I guess when you
Yeah.
fuck at your workplace, I was gonna say
Yeah.
something. different,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna.
I think it was mostly like less so the connection to the job so much as it was like her connection to Kate and just like wanting because she very much was like,
Yeah.
I have 2 years before Kate makes it in LA because it takes 5 years to be a celebrity. So I've got 2 years with her before she's a celebrity and leaves me. And I've got 2 years before my grandma dies and she leaves me. And then I'll be completely alone. So I just got to enjoy these 2 years.
Oh,
And
that's
so like any of those hiccups, she's like, I can't go anywhere else because this is all I have.
You know what was fun? Her talking about how she and Kate first interacted and how that girl like spilled something on her and she just smiled at her until she got so uncomfortable.
Yes.
Freaked out.
I love that.
Start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I have the balls. Just kidding. I'm never gonna do that.
I think it would be
like
fun.
if somebody, I think if somebody spilled their drink on me, like intentional or not, I could probably go into like shock so much and just be like, "It's fine, everything's fine. Just smile and it'll be fine. No one will say anything."
Yeah, I'm too chicken, but I could try maybe.
Hopefully, nobody ever spills a drink on you, and it'll be fine.
It's happened many a time. I feel like no one's purposely ever. Actually, that's not true. Someone's thrown a drink in my face, but then I just left. So anyway,
there's a story there.
It was my grandma, so that was fun.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah. Let's move on. I wonder what the deal was with her parents. What did she say, like, about it?
Yeah. I went back and looked at that because I was wondering about that too. She didn't say anything about her mom. She said that her dad, like, she didn't really get along with her dad. And the dad and her grandma really didn't get along.
That was so funny when she said she knows who killed his father, but she's never going to tell him.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I also liked how all throughout, like, the beginning of this, Maeve would be talking about something and she's like, well, we'll get more to that later. I kind of like that little like sneak peek into I like that type of writing where it's not totally talking to us, but it's sort of talking to us a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a memoir, but like we're still like in the action.
Yeah.
Then like, when it mentioned the eyeballs, like, oh, we'll get into that later. Then when the eyeball scene happened, I was like, oh, because I then expected just more eyeballs consistently. And it was just one, and I was like, oh.
I get what you mean.
I just kept wanting it to be grosser and grosser and grosser, like consistently, and then it wasn't. I was like, oh, I think I'm a little bit messed up, but that's fine.
Hey, we're all here.
Yeah, I was expecting more too. Like, if you call it extreme horror, I feel like that implies it's like nasty the whole time, and it wasn't. Yeah. I was expecting it to get nasty like way sooner.
See, I was expecting that, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't. I'm like the opposite. Oh my gosh. I just noticed that the author of Mother Thing like did a little blurb about that, and she's one of my favorite authors, and that's one of my favorite books. So that was cool. Oh my God. How did I not see that before? Anyway.
Love it. Oh my God. So many layers to this book. I liked when she was talking about her anger and how it was just like this thing inside of her that she had to hide all the time. And the way that when she was with Gideon, she didn't feel it as much. He was like calming for her. That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, they were so good.
But I know it. I also wondered, like, because she was obviously having this anger and stuff before she went to live with her grandma, but she talks about how her grandma taught her how to kill people. And I was kind of like, I wonder if she would have been a serial killer if she wouldn't have met her grandma.
She just would have gotten caught, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think. The grandma was like, I can tell you how to do it well.
True.
And I like how her grandma was like, the wolf thing. Yeah, exactly. That was cool because I love wolves. So that whole way to put that was really fun.
Oh, I love this book.
I know. God. And then when Gideon made the little doll and it was like the wolf with wings and he just put like, I see you on the side of it.
Rip.
Oh my God.
Sad.
I don't understand how she never was able to catch on to him though.
Because he knew. I didn't see that coming. I'm stupid though.
You are not.
Well, Maeve was probably just so focused, and she was so adamant about her being so fucked up and no one else that it probably didn't even occur to her that there are other serial killers out there.
True.
I think I only caught on to Gideon when it was like the Halloween party or something, and there was like a reporter that said, oh, he was with this like actress, but she's on a retreat and she hasn't been seen for a while. And I was like, he killed her.
See, I thought he was just like really fucked up, and maybe, But then, like, I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, you're the same as me," and then he was gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I don't kill people. I just like to shove curling irons up people's assholes." Oh, that would have been
Casual.
sad. But I like how it ended up being. Oh my gosh, I saw that the author reposted your thing for this.
I saw that too, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That was scary, but cool.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
The
have to
girl
read this.
running around who she thought made the dolls. I don't know who that was. I need an answer.
Maybe that's the
It better be in
sequel.
book 2.
I was so
I
Maybe
hope
that is
that's
the
the sequel.
But I'm like, would
Maybe
that
she
mean
was
that
like
Gideon's had
helping.
like an accomplice?
That's what I was gonna say.
But like we never got, like that's the only kind of hint we ever had was this, oh, there's a girl dropping off the dolls and like
I don't know.
smiling
I'm
at her
convinced-
really weirdly.
I'm convinced it was in her head.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I
the
was
dolls
thinking
are
maybe.
real.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe because he had a lot of money, he was like paying her to do it, so that nobody would catch him doing it, so it wouldn't like mess up his whole reputation if somebody saw him putting these weird ass dolls all over town.
Yeah,
I
I was thinking it was her in some way. I don't know. What was the interaction she had with her? Because didn't they talk at one point? I'm completely forgetting.
I don't know if they spoke.
Younger
I
version
know
of
that
Maeve.
like she saw her and then she just like smiled a really creepy smile at her and then like ran away.
That makes me think it's her for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Might find out in the sequel. I'm so curious about what a sequel to this would even look like. Like, would Maeve move? I was thinking that too, because I was
Goes to
wondering.
New York.
Well, I don't know, because
Cool, that'd be
she's
fun.
killed so. Yeah, she's killed so many people. I kind of assumed that if she and Gideon were together, they would have to move to cover their tracks, right? But she's so attached to that house.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
I kind of hope there's not a sequel, to be a hater. Just because it was so nice. I'm always scared of books I like having a sequel. Because like, what is it? The book for T. Kingfisher coming out this month. It's like the sequel to What Moves the Dead.
What Piece at Night?
What Moves the Dead.
Because I love that first book so much. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that because it's like where can you go? What's the plan?
I know.
I also refuse to read synopsis for second books, so I'm always going so blind, which does not help with the expectations.
Yeah.
I feel that. Oh my god. Part of me was like, what if she like becomes a witch and brings Gideon back from the dead?
I honestly would be okay with that.
Do
like,
it.
If this book went so horror fantasy, I'd be like, okay, yes, anything for Gideon.
You could be a little Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Well, not a Frankenstein, but whatever the monster's name was.
Frankenstein's monster. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I don't know. But I think this author is really good, so
I like
maybe it would work.
I'm gonna read anything she writes until I
Me
despise her writing.
The best thing is like when I like a romance in a book, but when I like the gore level 2, and if it's written well, that's like the topper for me. And this, I feel like I really liked how this was written, and I do like the short chapters too. That really,
I like that it was more than just like there was a story. I feel like a lot of the times people read extreme horror, especially on Kindle Unlimited, and it's just gore to be gore. And there's not much of like a plot and character depth. So I was
this
very
is,
like
psychologically
yes,
interesting.
great.
I feel like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Incredible for
yeah.
a debut.
Also, a debut novel.
Nuts.
A debut novel that made me cry. That's unheard of. I haven't cried at a book in so long. I was crying this morning. I was like, what the fuck happened?
I cry
so sad.
easily these days. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like my tradition is now like every year I start my year for reading with some type of book that makes me sob, at least a little.
What was last year?
The Traveling Cat Chronicles. Such a different type of sadness, but I've never cried harder.
I don't want to read it because I'm scared.
It's so good.
What are you all reading now?
Don't want to talk about my reads.
Nothing.
Tell us about your reads.
Oh,
I
they're
can't
so
get into
bad.
anything. The last 4 days, I've been like, "Ugh."
Yeah. Everything I've picked
I
up,
just
I'm
want more
like, this
serial
isn't
killers.
great.
That's a good idea.
Right?
I was thinking about starting the push because I hear a lot of like talk about that where
Ooh.
people either hate it or love it, and I
Yeah,
want
they
to.
love it or hate it. Which
wanna
makes me think you'll love it.
True.
See, I don't read too many thrillers. I feel like I like horror more because it's not like, oh, let's try to solve a mystery. And then if you solve it yourself, you're kind of bummed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of scared I'm going to like be too smart for the book. Oh my God. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so annoying. Sorry.
Isn't the push about
are not.
motherhood?
Yeah. And so
Yeah, that's
think
why I haven't
I read
it.
the first, it's not even the first page of the book. It's like a quote from another book. I started crying because I'm like hormonal as fuck today. And I was like, I don't think I can do it. No.
This is not the time.
That's a mood.
Ugh.
That's a big mood. I've been kind of like that this year too. Like I don't know. I've been reading a lot of graphic novels because I don't have enough brain cells to read anything that doesn't have a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
But I also am reading book 3 in the Stay a Spell series by Julia Cross, the sequels to Wolf Gone Wild.
I got it from my library.
So-
I'm gonna read that.
It's so good. I'm reading the 3rd one, and it's about one of the sisters who's a tattoo artist and her werewolf boyfriend, and it's so good.
That's fun.
So good. So
Yeah. I'm already
just
scared.
serial killers and smut, as you do.
As you do. More do you need?
I think I want to
Yeah.
read that, like, what is it, like Butcher and the Blackbird or something? Because isn't that
Oh,
also
yeah,
serial
this one.
killer?
Yeah.
I
think
started
so.
it. And
Eliza
Ooh.
loved it. And so
I thought
Eliza's
Zoe
pushed
did.
all of us to put it on our 12 friends recommended list.
I
So I
started
wanna
it
read
and
that
I
for
was
Valentine's
not
Day.
feeling it and I felt really bad. So I stopped. But I only got like 14 pages in or something. So I need to.
It's apparently
I need to follow in.
pretty steamy, which I was not expecting, but I heard a review and they were like,
All
there's
the,
a lot of detailed smut. And I was like, okay.
all the trigger warnings sound so interesting. Like there's a whole page of them and she's like joking while she's talking about these trigger warnings. She says, I'm sorry about the cookies and cream ice cream. What the fuck does that mean? And she's like,
Now I need to know.
and I said it to
Interesting.
Sasha. Sasha messaged me and she's like, have you read this book? I was like, no, but I've been hearing a lot about it. I was like, I'm really curious about this cookies and cream ice cream. She's like, stop it. I'm nauseous just reading that. I want to know what that means.
That's so
Okay,
fun.
I might
Yeah,
have
I
to
want to
read
read
that.
it. I want to read it before like or around Valentine's Day if I can manage. I don't think there's an audiobook for it though.
Oh, actually, I think I have the
That's-
audiobook.
Do you? On what platform?
I think Audible. Let me check.
Okay.
See, January was so good for me that I feel intimidated now to pick anything else up because
January was so bad. Mayfly is the only book that I liked the whole month.
How many books did you read?
Like 4. I
Aw.
just could not. Anything
Yeah.
I picked up, I was like, no, I can't. I don't have brain cells for this.
See, I feel like January, I'm
No.
like so experimental that I'll just pick up anything, and even if it sucks, I'm like, I'm not worried about it sucking. So I'm just like, I'm just trying shit out. And now it's like February. It's like the year is happening.
Yes, the year has begun. I'm currently reading Heart of Night and Fire by Nisha J. Tooley. It's fantasy romance, and I don't think I like it, but I have the audiobook arc for the sequel, so I'm like, fuck, I have to read these.
Oh,
Thanks.
I think I'm gonna try out. I have like a bunch of NetGalley books. I'm just gonna read a chapter of like 10 of them, see which one I'm feeling. There's like a novella that's come out. It's like
I'm
a
going to
fantasy
start
one.
An Education in Malice soon, and
Ooh.
Carrie can read, said the second half fell so flat, and I'm so nervous now.
Is that the sort of like sequel to Dowry of Blood?
Yeah, it's the
Mhm.
Camilla retelling, but Dark Academia.
I haven't read Dowry of Blood. I hear that's amazing though.
Ali.
I
I
know.
really want to.
Red, both of you.
I feel like I need to read Dracula.
Me
first.
too.
But Ren said
No, you
like
don't.
Dracula, right?
I loved Dracula. It was so good.
Okay. I think I'll
You don't
start
even have
there.
to read Dracula. It's all about Dracula's brides. Dracula doesn't matter.
I want the
The
lore.
source
I want
material-
the history. I can't believe I haven't
she'll
read
give it to you. Oh my
Frankenstein
God.
yet. It's been on my TBR like 6 times, and everyone who reads it says this is so Allie, and I refuse to. I think it's because I think I'm gonna like it that I'm just like, fuck that. No.
I'm the
People
same
can't
way
know
with
me that
books.
well.
If I think I'm going to love it, I'm not going to read it.
I'm a petulant
Yeah.
child.
That's been my problem this year. Is like, oh, I think I'm gonna like something. I'll just wait for the right time to read it, and then those times aren't coming, and I'm reading just trash.
I know, that's what I did last year. Monstrilio, I'm so sure that book's gonna fuck me up, and I refuse to read it. It's just sitting in my shelf as a 5-star prediction. So sad.
Okay, so Ali's gonna give us a 5-star prediction reading vlog soon.
I want to do that, but I'm
Or
scared.
do the reading these books until I get a 5-star. I should probably do that.
No, I was gonna do that last year. It took me 9 months to get 3 5-stars. Like I got a 5-star in January. I was like, oh great, it was the first book of the year. And then I got a 5-star in June. It took that long to get another one. And then September. Ugh. It was a
how many 5-stars did you have last year? Just 3?
I think 7 by the end of it. I got a bunch in September because I did the September series, but
that sucks.
I hear footsteps menacingly.
Sorry, that's from me. My parents are just walking in. Can't wait until my house is finished.
Oh, that's going to be so exciting. Oh, is Chopper back there? I see his
He's at the door.
He's like, I heard people.
Yeah, no, he's interested in what's happening outside.
Yep.
We got a little cameo. Got his tail.
Yeah.
I need a pet.
Me too. So bad.
I'm a firm believer that everyone should always get pets.
Oh, you have headphones on.
Yeah, he can't hear.
I was talking to you.
No.
Oh,
I already have 4 5-stars in 2024. I can't believe it. Sorry, Sam. Sorry.
Wow. Huh?
I have so many books on my TBR this month, so like it's bound to happen. I've got to get something.
I'm scared of my TBR this month. And we got Manhunt, Annihilation, which I know I'm going to love, but again, I'm scared because I'm going to love.
Annihilation's good.
Yeah. And then the Bell Jar, excuse me, I'm already depressed. I can't do that right now. Oof.
Yeah, you should hold off then. I'm reading that this year though. I have to read Emily's book by the 17th. And Emily Wilde put me in a bit of a reading slump. Oh. It took me so long to read that stupid book.
Roasting Ali's faves on the lives.
I know. The worst part is, like,
I get it though.
I liked it. It's not even like I hated it. It took me so long because every time I picked it up, I would get very tired. It was like such a slow story that I was like 20 pages in. I'm like, okay, I could take a nap.
I heard a lot of people say that, so I totally get it. That they were only reading like a chapter at a time over.
Yeah,
like
it's a very slow read, which is fine. But I was very much like, I can't read anything else until I finish it. I've never said that before. I don't know why all of a sudden.
Do you all like read one book from beginning to end and then go on, or do you read a bunch of stuff at the same time?
Oh, I'll have
5 books on the go at all times.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Me too.
I'm usually start to finish, but last month I was kind of jumping around and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. It helps when like a story starts to feel a little stagnant and you listen to something else or read something else and then you pick it back up and you're like, oh, fresh. Everything's so exciting again.
I'm trying to be better about it. That's one of my goals for 2024 is like finish the book I'm reading before I pick something else up.
Good luck.
But it was going good. It was going good. And then I picked up Maeve Fly. And then I was like, everybody else get in the back seat. Like, I don't have time for you if you're not Maeve. So sorry, friends, but
incredible.
I'm just so glad because I think the original reason I put this on my TBR, I didn't even read the synopsis. I was like, this cover, adding. So
yeah,
good job on
that.
Amazing. I'm so curious what her next book is going to look like. Because I feel like authors tend to... It just has a Tor like logo on it right now on Goodreads.
I know. I want to see the cover so bad.
Because I feel like authors usually they have the same kind of vibe for a lot of their covers. So what is going to be the next one? I don't know. There was a lot of religious looking shit in the vibe thing she put up on Instagram. So maybe there'll be like a horny demon Jesus on the cover. One can
Well,
hope.
now we have to have that. Oh my god. Also, okay, it was so weird because she was posting a lot of like the religious stuff on her Instagram, but in the synopsis, it doesn't say anything about that. And I was like, reconcile these two things.
Maybe it's gonna be
I
like a
don't
sex cult.
know.
I don't know.
Sexual desire turned you into
Ooh.
a monster. Well, it's American Gods meets Manhunt, so maybe that's why.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe.
American Gods by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman.
I just like that it says the end times are coming, but it doesn't come out till October.
This year?
Is it October?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I thought it was
Yes.
gonna be like
That's so
2025. We can wait.
Yeah, no,
we gotta
October
let
this
her.
year.
We gotta let her cook. You know.
Yeah, she deserves the time to make it good.
I feel like that'd be a lot of pressure to finally put like a debut book out, and then everyone's probably like, "What are you doing next?" I would.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I feel like publishers do that. They're like, okay, we're giving you a 2-book deal. Like you have to come up with something within a year.
Period of time. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I feel like that's worse than fans being like, please more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
How do you follow up Maeve Fly? Like what?
Yeah.
I'll read it.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Okay, are we sure it's coming out in October? Because I just saw fall of 2024.
Yeah, the Goodreads says October 15th is the expected publication date.
Oh, that's gonna be so good for Halloween. Sexy
It
Demon
is going to be
Davis.
so good for Halloween.
I'm like already writing this story for her. I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
Allie's making up shit again.
It's supposedly 288 pages.
Oh, perfect. I like it when
it's like the same length as Mayfly then.
That was perfect length in my opinion.
Ooh.
I wonder if they'll
It's
ever make
exciting.
a movie. Can you imagine? That'd be great.
That would be so good. Or a TV series.
What? I don't know how that would go. I'm always scared when books get turned into TV shows. But it's gone
really
very
depends
well.
on who
Stephen
picks it
Jones
up.
and the Six, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard good things about that.
I'm scared about ACOTAR, but that one makes sense because there's so many books in that series.
Yeah, but like it's also like I don't know how to say that. I mean this in like a positive way, but like it is like a trash read, but in a good way.
Mhm.
So like it's gonna be a trash show, but in a good way. It's like one of those like bingeable.
I think
I'm enjoying this, but I don't think it's gonna be as like high fantasy as
oh no,
it should be.
for sure they're gonna fuck it up, like for sure. But we're all gonna watch.
Same with like Fourth Wing. Like Fourth Wing's gonna be bad. We all know.
Are they making
but
a show or a movie?
Amazon picked it up. They're gonna, I think,
Oh
do
my
a show.
god.
Oh god, I still haven't read Iron Flame.
Same. All the stuff came out, and I was like, we'll pick that up on
Yeah.
a rainy day long from now.
Yeah. Have you guys picked up Crescent City Book 3 that just came out?
It.
You did.
I finished it in like.
What'd you think?
I give it 3.5. I'm glad I read it, but I had some better ideas. I'm just.
Eliza's feeling that way.
The better
Eliza
ideas.
finished part 1, and she's
I'm
like,
just kidding.
I'm bored. She didn't
I'm
like part
bored.
1, but she said it's getting better now. So
Part
we'll
1
see.
was the best part for me, and
Oh,
then the
really?
rest
Yeah,
of it
Eliza was
really
not
boring.
feeling it. Eliza has been texting us about it, and she's like, no.
Sure. Yeah, because like I love the characters, but it didn't have to be over 800 pages. Like, what the fuck is going on? Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I have the first 2 books. I think I'm just going to stick with Throne of Glass for this year because I'm reading that and annotating it and then sending it to Eliza because it's her favorite series. So I'll just stick with that and
I'm on
slowly
the
read
4th
it.
book of that. I was like binging it, and then I got kind of tired in the middle of one of them, and I was like, I need to take a break. But I loved Air. I think Air of Fire, is that when she goes off and separates? Anyway, I got to finish that series.
Yeah, that's the one that I want to focus on this
Yeah.
year, and then maybe next year ACOTAR if I've got the brain cells.
I feel like so many people love Throne of Glass, but I feel like I hear way more about ACOTAR, but people don't like it as much. It's kind of interesting.
I think young adult women love ACOTAR, whereas like your standard reader is going to enjoy Throne of Glass a bit more because
Isn't Throne of Glass more YA though?
It is more YA, but it focuses more fantasy than romance.
Mm.
Also, like, I'll forgive her for it because she did write the first book when she was 16.
That is nuts.
So, Yeah, I don't feel like I need to be as harsh as with ACOTAR.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling the first couple books. I was like, this is fine. And then it started going off. And I was like, oh, okay, I get why people like this.
Yeah, Liza's like, after book 3. And I'm like, that's
a
too
lot.
many books.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm debating if I want to reread Crescent City and then just binge all 3 books or not. That's a lot of pages, and I don't know if it's worth it.
So much. It'd be like this big.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Straight up, I use those books for paperweights around my house. Dead ass.
Really?
I don't know if any of you watch the YouTube channel The Nerd Forge, but they bound all of the Harry Potter books together in one. And they've done it with another series too, I think. That was maybe bigger. It was The Wheel of Times. And I'm just picturing putting all of Sarah J. Maas's books in one massive tome.
It would fall.
Like a custom bound. Well, that's the thing, is the way that
crazy.
they did a leather bound, but you'd flip it so it was like a slinky, like it'd be like a perfect U,
What?
and then you could flip through the pages that way, and it was just it would be on the desk. It was so cool, but like wild.
That's crazy. I love it.
But yeah, Sarah J. Maas's books are so thick already.
I know.
Does she have like an end date for her universe? Is like there ever going to be a?
She got signed on for 7 more books, and some of them are in the ACOTAR series, but she got signed on for like another series. So I'm so excited for that because I need something new, you know. Because I've never been like with her as something new of hers is being published. I feel like I've always come up like after the fact. Even Crescent City, I think I read it like a year after it came out. So I'm so excited. Everyone's gonna lose their shit.
Interesting. And I assume it'll be in the same world somehow.
I don't know. Who knows? With her?
I truly don't even understand how ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and the Crescent City series can all be in the same universe. Like, they don't seem similar enough to like be like, oh yeah, it's just the next planet over.
Next planet over. I agree.
Like, I feel like with Brandon Sanderson, like, he thought the Cosmere out a little bit better, that it made sense that he can put these in a universe, but still has series outside of it. And so it's like, he knew how to split it up, where I feel like Sarah J. Maas was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if? And then just kind of made decisions that didn't make sense.
I'm starting Brandon Sanderson's, one of his series. I got the book for me and Grant, and it's like 900 something pages. And it's got like Bible pages.
Oh, is it the Stormlight Archives?
Yes.
I'm trying to read it. That's going to be a 10-book series.
My friend Venus is doing like a readathon. So she's doing February and March. We're reading that book. So I have 2 months to read it, but I'm intimidated to the point where I don't even want to start. I'm scared.
You need an audiobook. The 5th book for the series for the Storm Archives comes out December, I think. So a lot of people are picking up because it's going to be the end of the first arc. And then he'll come out with the next 5 for the series.
Jeez.
I don't know how that man writes that much.
I haven't read too much high fantasy like that. So we'll see.
Good luck. I hear it's a lot of like POVs and also just so thick. Just so much in there.
I like it with as little POVs as possible. I'm that kind of reader.
Yeah.
I like getting like closer to one character, I think.
Yeah. I feel like 2 is usually my max, where I'm just like, okay, this is fine, but it can get messed up so fast that I'm just like, was it worth having 2 characters that sound the same and aren't even interacting with each other? Like, I don't feel like I'm learning something.
So what's the next BBB book?
You know, it's funny you should ask. It's All Chained Up by Sophie Jordan. Listen, before you start laughing at me, let me backtrack. So it's a prison romance. This was like back when I worked at the bookstore. So this is like a year and a half ago. I got into Sophie Jordan and I read her newest book as an arc, and I was like, ooh, let me see what else she's written. And then I was like, oh, she has this prison romance series. And it has a lot of shirtless men on it. And I'm really bored. And so I picked this up and I got like 2/3 of the way in. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this. But I knew I wanted to start a book club. Yeah, I was like, I want to start my book club. And so I'm going to put this down. I'm not going to read the end. And I'm going to make it a book club selection at some point, so I can scream about it with everybody else because it was so fucking good. I was annoying all my coworkers at work because I was like, this prison romance is so good. Oh my God, you have to read it. Anyways, so I'm really excited. It's also like a 5 or 6 book series. Yeah, I've been waiting. I've been waiting impatiently. It's so good.
Okay, I gotta read it now.
So I'm stoked. Yeah, you gotta read it. It's so backlist. Nobody's ever talked about this book.
I've never heard of
this
it.
Man. Nobody's ever heard of him. But let me tell you something. Woo! Just buy a fan for yourself. You can just thank me later. Like it's
God. See, I'm scared to read it.
Okay. And then I think we need to I think we should make Daphne read that then, because that sounds like she might enjoy it.
Do it.
I love talking to Daphne because she loves reading steamy books. And sometimes she's just like, I was just getting so warm. And I'm like, Daphne.
Oh my God.
And it's just so funny.
Yes. Absolutely. So, anyways, it just seemed like the perfect book for Valentine's Day, to be honest.
Fair.
A little prison romance to spice up your day. Why not?
I don't think I've ever read a prison romance.
I hadn't either until I read this. And then I was like, wow, that's a vibe. Oh, I love it.
Go to bed.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I'm very excited. I'm excited about book club. I've been planning and plotting like what all the books are going to be for the rest of 2024. There's going to be some bangers. I'm just saying. I'm not to flex. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty excited for your like next 3 projection of the next 3. There we go.
I was excited when I saw it, but I'm blacking out. I know Bride's on there. What else is on there?
There's that one horror happening in March, April, May. No, the one in May with the really cool freaking cover.
Oh, Diavola.
Oh, yes. I got the arc for that, so I'll definitely be reading it.
You got the arc for that on NetGalley?
Yeah.
I just love that cover.
It looks so spooky.
I read Jennifer Thorne, so I kind of know like a little bit of what to expect with her writing, but it's so different from her last book that I'm like.
What's her last book?
Loot?
Yes.
Oh,
is it Loot?
Like, I remember that cover.
Yeah, Loot. Which is like small island mystery horror, but it really wasn't like scary.
Right.
And so this cover, I'm like, this is giving more horror. So I'm excited.
I know. I feel like the cover is giving horror, but I feel like when I read the synopsis, it wasn't.
Yeah, she's not like spooky, scary horror, but she's definitely more on like the literary side of it.
Oh, that's my fave.
I think that she's like a good enough.
Yeah, it's so
also
good.
Oh my gosh, you can see Ren's face in the reflection of my phone.
Love it. Yeah, I'm super excited for Spring Book Club. I think it's going to be good.
Spring is going to be good.
Is that what these are all? I forget what spring is.
Yes.
Spring's next. Okay. We don't really have seasons in any place I've ever lived, so I forget where we're at.
Well, Alea, I didn't get to meet you a snowman because all of our snow melted. And it's so hot here now.
Do you think it'll?
Our snow was like ice.
That's all right.
I don't know. It's getting really weirdly warm.
I'll make you a sand snowman next time I go to the beach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, we got hit with like an ice storm, so it wasn't even enjoyable.
That sounds painful on many levels.
I didn't have to work for 5 days, so
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, it's like I'm not driving in that.
In Florida, I remember we always used to get jealous about snow days, but we would have hurricane days. It would just suck because like the power would be out, and then we had to do yard work, and then there would be no electricity for like 2 weeks. So Kind of sucked actually. But
It's not the same.
Yikes. Oh my god.
You know, the ice storm did like knock out a whole city, basically.
my
Like, they had
God.
no power for like 3 weeks, and I was like, okay, well, cool weather.
yeah, weather is scary when you really think about it, the possibilities. And when you start thinking about what's going to be happening, probably when we're long dead, it's like, I don't want to have children just to save them from that torment. Oh,
Yeah.
anyway,
On that sad note,
I'm probably going to go eat something, so I might sneak on out of here.
Yes, I think it's time to go and eat.
53?
Yeah, I know. Normally it's so
Wait,
snowy
that's
and cold
warm?
here in February.
Excuse me, 53 degrees? That's freezing. Where do you live?
That's
K-pop?
warm here.
that's like normal for Oregon. Yeah, that's like our like, ooh, I could wear a t-shirt.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could not function.
It's like the middle of winter for her though, so it should be very cold
Yeah.
in England.
In the UK.
Oh, ooh, that's a vibe. See, I feel like I could be
Vibe.
cold if I had a cobble street to like walk around on.
That's hilarious. Oh my god. No, I hate the snow. I'm like, well, it's too hot here. And the summer's probably going to be awful. Everything's going to be on fire, but at least I don't have to drive in the snow.
Suck. The summer's gonna be so
and
bad.
snow sounds so scary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, those wildfires are going to be brutal over here.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. You probably got something cool. You probably have like a hatch roof somewhere in your town, maybe. I feel like England has those, right?
A castle. Okay, well that's
Castle,
super
yeah.
cool. What?
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Okay, I could do snow better if there was castles because that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
True.
For sure. I'd wake up every morning, freeze my ass off just to walk by the castle. Sing a little song, bring out my flute.
You'd be singing "Let It Go," wouldn't you?
When-
You would. Oh my god! All right, well,
by that
Allie
castle.
needs to go eat.
Yeah, I'm getting a little loopy. Although this is just me all the time. So.
Oh my god! Well, we're all feeling a little unhinged after reading about Maeve. So I finished that book and I was like, "Am I okay? Am I good?"
No.
I liked her. I'm kind of scared. Anyways, so glad that I got all of you to read Maeve
Yeah.
Fly with
Thank
me
you,
so we
'cause I
could
would've
scream
put this
about
off.
it.
I
Yeah.
also would have put it
Yeah.
off if I didn't say.
I was.
sure.
I was putting it off too, to be honest. I was like, I don't know about that woman licking the eyeball. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that, you know?
Turns out you don't need to be in a mood for it. You just gotta pick it up.
Ren.
Yeah.
You're a castle bitch now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very cool castle too.
Jealous.
Me too.
All right, well, I have to go eat dinner in my non-castle, so excuse me, all of you. Thank you guys so much for reading with me and being on the book club and chatting and everything. It's awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for
fun.
having
Yeah.
us.
Of course. All right, you guys. It's time to leave and eat food and whatnot.
Clean a house.
Bye.
For a party.
Oh, we don't clean, Sam. There's no cleaning. There's no cleaning.
I don't clean.
Ugh.
Bye.
Bye.